All right, guys, buckle up because this courtroom wastes no time setting the tone. The judge immediately shuts down any possibility of chaos, warning everyone that even the slightest outburst will have consequences. It's tense, controlled, and serious. But then, unexpectedly, a bit of humor slips in, briefly easing the atmosphere before the real legal battle begins to unfold.
Be tolerated, you will be removed. If you keep giving me problems, you'll be taken into custody, and there'll be no questions asked. I hope everybody is understanding.
I think everybody understands.
It does call the case of the people versus Fareed. Is it Hajar?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The court please Mark Krieg on behalf of Mr. Hajar.
And Ryan Murad, PA 3665 on behalf of Mr. Hajar, stand present to my right. Sir, please introduce yourself to this honorable court.
My name is Fareed Hajar.
All right.
I would give my P number, but I don't want anyone knowing how old I am.
They didn't have them then, did they, sir? No. Everybody knew each other.
My partner, he started when there was no P number.
Got it.
The defense steps in with a calculated approach, painting the defendant as a long-standing, law-abiding citizen with deep community roots. Military service, decades of stability, and respected connections are all brought forward to shape perception. The strategy is clear. Shift focus away from suspicion and toward character, creating doubt about whether such a person fits the profile of someone dangerous.
All right. This is your motion. You can have a seat.
Thank you, Senator. I have filed a brief, but I have some supplemental information. Your Honor, I understand, and I did listen to the bond hearing, that there is an active homicide investigation going on. I spoke to Mr. Surma at the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, who is overseeing that investigation. And I've spoken to Ms. Blanche, and she agrees. Here were the representations. The cause of death has not been determined. The investigation is open. There is no timetable as to when that will be completed. And it's not even clear at this stage that there is a homicide associated with the body that was found. I indicated that he is a longstanding member of the community. He has lived in this country for over 40 years, over 40 years. He served in the military and the Marines, and I have a picture, Your Honor, that verifies his service in Marines at Desert Storm. To say that he has community support is a gross understatement. Present, I'll just give a number of people who would vouch for his credibility, for his desire to appear at all of the cases to defend himself on these charges. First is Oscar Garza. Would you stand up, Mr. Garza?
Now the argument sharpens as the defense directly challenges the massive bond. Instead of outright dismissal, they offer a structured alternative: monitoring, restrictions, and accountability. It's a strategic move, acknowledging the seriousness of the situation while insisting the current bond is excessive. The tension builds as the legal reasoning becomes more pointed and harder to ignore.
Mr. Garza is a retired Detroit police officer. He was a sergeant in the K-9 unit. He has known Mr. Hajar for approximately 40 years, has known him since high school. He has never known him to be violent. He has one prior misdemeanor from 2012. That's a DWI, which he received probation and successfully completed probation. I don't know if the court had an opportunity. I did give the court the URL for the Zoom hearing on all that.
I review all of them whenever I have a motion, so I'd seen it.
Okay, so all he said was he has, quote, the potential for violence. Outside of this offense, there's no history of violence. If he's charged with murder down the road, which certainly is an open question. So, when you're charged, you're presumed to be innocent. You would assume even more so when you're not charged. And that bond can be appropriate. Judge, I'm not asking here for a personal bond, although quite frankly, under the court rules, I don't think a personal bond would be out of order. I'm asking for a $100,000 10% bond with a GPS tether. He can only go to work, to medical appointments, and religious services. I think that is an absolutely reasonable bond. There's no history of flight. If the court has questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
In terms of the coordination, because this stretches over 2 counties, and you indicated that you talked to somebody from Wayne County.
Correct.
And maybe Ms. Blanch will answer this, so I was holding off in terms of the question.
The prosecution pushes back, and this is where things take a serious turn. Suddenly, the possibility of homicide is no longer distant. It's real and actively under investigation. Even without a confirmed cause of death, the mention of homicidal violence shifts the entire weight of the case. What was once uncertainty now feels much heavier, and the stakes rise instantly.
In terms of the murder investigation, as well as the potential charges, who would have those?
They would be our jurisdiction. So I don't know why Wayne County would say that it's their jurisdiction, because we actually sat down and had a briefing with Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, Dearborn Police, Northfield. They were present. The body is located in our jurisdiction. So if we can't prove exactly where, let's say it comes back as strangulation or something, it happened on the highway. The jurisdiction would be where the body is.
So right
now,
correct.
We have jurisdiction. If we do declare homicide, it is going to be in our jurisdiction right now. But obviously we are not there yet, but this is an ongoing active investigation.
Just so that you know, and I sorry to interrupt you there, but that's why when you said about Wayne County, I was curious, because it would seem to me that, at least from the sketchy facts that I know, that it would be here unless there was something else.
May I, Your Honor, and
yes.
I can expand upon that a little bit. We've spoken, and I think she would agree with what I'm about to represent to the court. Wayne County is also involved in the case because they don't know where she died. And we don't know whether it's a homicide. But I spoke to Ms. Blanch, and she agrees that it's an open investigation. No charge has been brought. There's no timetable, and they have not even, at this point, determined that homicide is the cause or the manner of death.
At this point, the judge steps in with sharp, probing questions that cut through both arguments. The contradiction becomes impossible to ignore. On one hand, there's no formal homicide charge, but on the other, there are clear indications pointing in that direction. The defense tries to adjust, but the pressure is mounting. This is where the courtroom dynamic peaks, balancing law, logic, and uncertainty. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.
To hold this man on a $2 million cash or surety bond without even know whether it's a homicide and under what circumstances, I think is antithetical to everything that this country stands for, that someone's presumed innocent. He has not been charged. If he's charged, then whether it be in Wayne or Washtenaw County, then the court can set a bond that it believes appropriate for a murder, depending on whether the proof is evident or the presumption great. But the $2 million cash bond on offenses that theoretically the guidelines are 0 to 17 at best, and like I said, at worst 19 to 38 seems to me to be a violation of the 8th Amendment and the Michigan Constitution. If the court has questions, I'd be more than happy to answer, but I don't think I've made any representations today that Ms. Blanch would disagree with in terms of the homicide investigation.
Well, besides, I didn't want to get into the autopsy or what has been conducted so far because it isn't relevant to the charges yet, correct? Right. But the fact that he's making these representations in court, the medical examiners are medical examiner in our jurisdiction, and she did say that the circumstances are consistent with homicidal violence. That is, last time I talked to her, she's still waiting for the toxicology. It's pending. We won't know cause and manner until after that is done, and she wants to, hold off on drafting the autopsy protocol. But that is all we have right now in terms of whether or not this is a homicide. Obviously, it's still being investigated, but I'd like to speak just now based on the charges when I can on why I would like the bond to continue as it is.
And if, Your Honor, homicide charges are brought, I will make sure he surrenders himself.
Yeah, but counsel, if I were to have that preliminary finding, and I realize it's not a finding, but